Hello and welcome back to the Appalachian Bourbon Society Bar. I'm Daniel.
I'm John.
I'm Chris.
I'm Mike.
And we have finally made it to Friday. So y'all know what that means?
Fresh Crack Friday!
Who wants to introduce the bottle we're going to be trying today?
I know nothing about it.
I mean, I can read.
Yeah.
This is the Penelope Cigar Sessions American whiskey. It's a 101 proof, and this just dropped, I think, like yesterday or today, May 29th, 30th.
Yeah, I haven't seen it anywhere.
Read that little bit right there for everybody.
Penelope
Chris.
Cigar Sessions, Chapter 1. I ain't got my glasses on. I got the old man eyes. Brings together master cigar and whiskey blenders, uniting their crafts to create the ultimate pairing of medium bold cigars. This blend of straight bourbon, 100% American single malt, and American light whiskey elevate the cigar experience with its rich, balanced character. Experience innovation and passion in every sip.
There you go.
So it's a combination of single malt and light whiskey?
Yes, and bourbon.
Wow.
So
Impressive.
not a bourbon.
No.
Not a bourbon.
But it says American
But-
whiskey on the bottom.
Wow.
I do have to say, of the cigar batch whiskeys I've seen, that label definitely
That's
looks
pretty
like
cool.
a cigar label.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that's like a good
They-
Rocky Patel or something. That would probably pair really well with that.
They nailed the label for sure.
All right. Well,
Who wants to do the
David,
honors?
You guys are closest. Why
Yeah.
don't you guys crack
Crack
it
it
open?
and pour it for us.
All right. See where the...
Should have brought my knife with me.
I don't have mine on me either. There you go, Mike
there
to
we
the
go.
rescue. Mike's got you right there. We'll edit some of that out. Don't worry. Here, let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was kind of disappointing there, wasn't it?
All right.
You wanna
You're fired,
have like
John.
a,
You're fired.
Yeah.
No, go ahead and pour us all a little bit of it.
All right.
You know, when Jamie does this, it's like,
She's had more practice, though.
None of us have the vanity vigor of
Yep.
Jimmy. As much as we may try.
Ooh, poured myself a little generous there.
That's all right.
And then you short me.
Yeah, short. There we go. I'm not the pro like this. I'll have to defer back to Jamie.
wow.
I want to take...
Single malt. Now, there's a couple light American whiskeys I like, but I've yet to find a single malt that I'm in love with.
I actually sampled a single malt today when I was picking that up that I actually enjoyed, and I have to say it's the first one.
And whose single malt was that?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Rare character. Rare character.
Okay, rare care. Oh, okay.
It was a rare character.
Rare
But it was a
character makes some good stuff.
$160 bottle, so I did not buy it.
It's the exceptional series.
Yeah, I've got an American whiskey from Southern Collective that's really good.
So I've tried bourbons. I've tried a lot of American single malts. Some I like, some I did not like. But I've actually never tried an American light whiskey. So that'll be an interesting wild card for me.
You had the Hazmat American Light Whiskey. We got
Yeah,
it.
it's like 137 proof. It's close. It's that what's the Return of the King? That King of Georgia barrel that they lost and found. A 16-year-old American light whiskey, finished in some kind of wine barrel. I forget which kind.
So what are y'all getting on the nose?
I'm getting a lot of kind of barley nuttiness to it.
Yeah. A little bit of ethanol there, but it is a fresh crack.
Yeah. But it smells like whiskey.
Yeah. I'm getting a little bit of the ethanol on it, a little bit more than I think I was expecting for the
proof?
for the proof.
Yeah.
But I am getting kind of a barley, almost a beer note to it.
Yeah. Definitely barley right there on the front of the nose.
I wonder why they decided to do something like this in 101. I mean, a lot of the big sellers of Penelope I see are the cast drink Penelopes.
Yeah. Y'all ready to give it a taste?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, that's different.
Yeah. That's definitely.
You wouldn't mistake it for a bourbon.
No.
Yeah, that's not hiding what it is.
Yeah, there's no molasses brown sugar there.
That's definitely not like any other cigar batch I've had.
No, I mean I'm getting sweetness, just not bourbon sweetness, but I'm definitely getting corn sweetness there.
I almost feel like they took inspiration from the different types of cigars and how the different wrappers of cigars can change the flavor profile of the body of the cigar, because that's not a bourbon that's been aged to keep up with the cigar's flavor. That is complementary to the flavors
Right.
you get in a cigar.
Which to me, I'm not a cigar smoker. The times I have, I always get such a bitter taste from cigar. I want something sweet and bold to
Counteract
that bitterness.
that bitterness. Yeah.
Like a lot of cigar blends have that kind of cognac finish that they
Cognac,
Yeah.
Armagnac,
That's sweeter.
And
port wine.
Most cigars most cigar blends are that they're so sweet to try and keep up with the deadening of your palate from having a bitter cigar. But this is
different.
you would almost want to have a you'd almost want to have a sweeter cigar and let this be a little more bitter on your palate, and that would be the right combination from being a cigar smoker and whiskey enthusiast.
Well, you would know more about that than
I like it, but I think it also depends. You know, I'm kind of price conscious in my old age. What was the cost of this one, Daniel?
$79.99, sir.
Well, that's not too bad.
for a cigar blend, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
For a cigar blend, that's
Yeah.
cheap.
yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
But I
I think I would have it in my bar at that price. I don't know that I wouldn't get a backup of it, but to have something different, this is definitely different.
I would actually like to compare this to some other cigar
Yes,
blends.
I was just thinking like how this would be
How
a
does
very
it hold up?
a great entry level cigar blend for someone who is hesitant to try that because they don't want to muddle up their bourbon. Like this is still it's whiskey heavy on the taste,
Yeah.
not quite as cigar blend as a lot of other brands, but it's still like I can definitely tell that it's a finish.
I will say from enjoying cigars a little bit on the side, this does have kind of like a green sweetness, almost herbal, that you get in like American Kentucky wrappers that are used on a lot of cigars. This reminds me of that, not just because of the name, but it does have kind of that green tobacco note to it.
It reminds me, since you said that, it reminds me, because we have this a lot at night at our house. We have green tea with a little bit of honey in it. It reminds me of a good green tea as far as the flavors going in it. They're very interesting flavors. Not too simplistic, not too complex, just a good combination that you enjoy. I like it.
I loved it.
I think this would pair very well with pick a sweet cigar,
A milder.
a very mild wrapper, and then this pleasant bitterness. It's not bitter in a bad way. This is very pleasant.
Yeah.
And this would just complement so well.
Yeah, I would pick this up.
So who would be the other contenders? The only one, and I'm talking price wise, far as cigar batches, the Copper and Cask would be the only one that I can think of that would.
As far as price
as far
wise,
as
yeah.
price wise,
I think the biggest deal is this: most of these bourbons that are finished in cognac, Armagnac, tawny port, things like that, are going to be considerably sweeter
Yes.
than this.
This, honestly, I feel like it would better compare to cigar batch rye than any bourbon, because a
There you
bourbon
go.
would be
That
so
might
much
be the
sweeter.
better challenge to put it against an RY3 cigar batch that they
Yes.
have out, something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that is not quite as sweet.
More
It's
more
got-
green and bitter to it.
Yeah. And my RY3 cigar batch, like that was heartbreak when I bottle killed that guy. Like I was so yeah. I was
Well,
like,
tell us what do you think it is comparable to your RY3? I've
I mean,
never had the RY3.
again, as far as entry level goes, this is fantastic. And 2 thumbs up. I will probably get this bottle. But comparatively to the RY3, that is more of the typical cigar blend. You do definitely get that cognac armoire finish to where it's like it's
predominant.
it's a lot different.
There's no finish from any wine influence. It is just what goes into it.
Yeah.
The American bourbon, American single malt, and American light whiskey. There's no secondary coloration of the flavor there.
Yeah.
And just the fact that doesn't need coloration from anything else to make
Right.
it
doesn't need
to
3 months
change
in a
it.
cognac barrel.
No.
Yeah.
And you even still you get the hints of that. Like I mean, if I was blinded, would I have picked it as a cigar blend? I don't know. But reading the label and seeing it, I get that. But it is delightful.
I'd like to know who they work with on it. It says, master blenders of cigar blends. The only one that comes to my mind when I think of that would be Nancy Fraley, who started the cigar blend. So I wonder who they work with on that. I'm curious to find out.
I'm curious that it says chapter 01.
So
You
there's
usually
another
don't
one
put that
coming.
on there unless you're counting on a chapter 02.
Yes. Yeah.
This would be an interesting to compare chapter 1 versus chapter 2 because maybe they will go towards more of the typical sweeter type of finished cigar experience. But this is different from any other cigar blend on the market just because it's not overly sweet and overly colored. It is just whiskey.
Yeah.
It is a good whiskey.
Yeah. It's really good. So, Mike, you want to start with your final thoughts on it?
Well, I have not been a fan of any single malts that I've tried yet. Well, I say a few finished single malts I like, but I think it was the finish that gave it to me. I am a fan of a few light whiskeys I've tried, but I'm not a connoisseur. I'm not an expert. I will say that this surprised me. I didn't anticipate liking it, and I like it. I would definitely have a bottle of it. I don't know that I would have a backup of it because I think it'd be someone that says like, oh, I'm not really into bourbons. Well, you should try this. If you're not really a bourbon guy, something a little bit different in a very drinkable proof range, I would have that to give to my whiskey friends.
Yeah.
What say you, Chris?
This is another one of those to where the nose matches the palate really well. So that's always a great experience whenever, even as a novice drinker, you can kind of match those two flavors and palate taste together. That's always super enjoyable.
Who said you were novice?
That's fair. I appreciate that. But again, like you said, like it's a great like whiskey drink for sure, and then a really great entry level. I mean, it almost sounds disrespectful, but just if you are curious about the cigar blends and you don't want to try the higher, more expensive cigar blends, this is a fantastic option because although it isn't quite darkened and flavor finished, it is incredible as far as taste, palate, finish goes. I mean, obviously you just watched me pour another one, so I'm a big fan.
So, John, you're the cigar smoker in the group here. What do you think?
I think if you are a person who enjoys a cigar, that this is a must-buy because it is so different from your typical cigar blends. There's a lot of cigar blends that are called cigar blends, but they're really just marketing to people who like an overly sweet, overly finished whiskey. This is just whiskey, and it stands up on its own. If you pick the right cigar, it's going to enhance those flavors. Yeah. It is going to give you a better overall experience when you have both together. And for that, I think it's a must-buy. If you buy this first and you haven't tried those other cigar blends, it might alter your perception a little bit. But if you've had those other cigar blends and you just found them overly sweet and they didn't complement what you were smoking, this is where you need to go.
I don't have much to add to that. That was y'all three kind of hit all the bases. For me personally, for the price, I would definitely be a buy on it. I've enjoyed it, and you know, if that one runs empty, I would definitely pick up another one if I have the opportunity.
That's the way I feel about it.
And one little caveat, even if you're not a huge whiskey fan, this is one that if somebody's not a big whiskey fan, this would look cool on your bar. This is a very nice design.
I think they killed the presentation there as far as trying to mimic a cigar.
This would be one anybody would be happy to get as a gift.
It draws. It
If
draws your
Father's
eyes
Day's
to it.
coming up, people.
Oh,
There you go.
I don't $80 like anybody.
Yeah.
So,
So there you have it. I think all four of us were pleasantly surprised, and all four of us are fans. I think it's a solid buy it from the group. So tell us what you think. I know not everyone's a fan of cigar blends, and even if you aren't, I think maybe you should give this a try. So please like, comment, and share, and let us know what you think of the Penelopes and if you've tried this. So as always, please drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and Daniel, close us out.
Till next time, keep it neat.
Cheers.
Cheers.